state officials have just released new charges on Young Thug and YSL. On the night of May 9th, when the YSL mansion was raided, the police found items within the household. They never made it public what was inside till now, as Young Thug has a bond hearing coming up. The evidence report states, "In the name and behalf of the citizens of Georgia, do charge and accuse Duke, Yak Gotti, and Jeffrey Williams, aka Young Thug, with the offense of possession of a firearm for the said accused. In the state of Georgia and county of Fulton, on the 9th day of May 2022, did unlawfully possess a firearm with a converter switch and extended mags." Now, what is known as a switch in many rappers' lyrics nowadays is a mod that you can attach to a single fire firearm to make it a full auto. In the United States, this is highly illegal, but has been very popular in the street-related type of world. Inside of the YSL mansion, owned by Young Thug, was these exact items. This evidence is coming out as the prosecutors don't want to give Young Thug any chance of receiving bond later this week, as there's rumors of prosecutors also wanting Young Thug in jail, while Lil Baby also gets targeted for RICO. As reported by DJ Academics, Lil Baby as well as members of 4PF are next on the Atlanta DA's RICO list, as new paperwork has been leaked in the Atlanta DA's office revealing very concerning information on 4PF, Lil Baby, Gunna, and Young Thug. Now, similar to how YSL and Young Thug were raided and arrested for RICO, Lil Baby is now next on the list.
An in-depth investigation. Recent months you've had 2 high-profile racketeering cases. There are gonna be more.
Over the next 60 days, you'll see 2 more.
Now, after this was broadcasted on live news, it didn't take long for Lil Baby's reaction to be released, as Lil Baby tweeted, "I'm trying to start an investment group for young millionaires. We can run the world if we play it right." As someone replies, "Man, you better be looking out for that RICO everyone be talking about." With Lil Baby replying, "Only God can judge me." Now, shortly after the Atlanta DA did the interview, paperwork was released revealing the next group to be targeted by the Atlanta DA is 4PF. Fannie Willis revealed 2 rap groups that will be arrested under RICO charges in Atlanta. One group being a top artist in the game, with a second being an average-sized artist, allegedly being 22Gs. According to DJ Academics, the streets are saying that Lil Baby and 4PF are next, making many believe that Young Thug and some of the 28 members arrested within YSL ratted on Lil Baby, as prosecutors are connecting that Young Thug, Gunna, and Lil Baby, all 3 of them being very close and best friends, all must be doing a lot more than just creating music. Lil Baby and Young Thug are best friends and have been for many years. Young Thug even paid Lil Baby at the start of his rap career to stay in the studio and off of the streets. Other than that Twitter interaction, Lil Baby has been very quiet ever since the night of May 9th, when the famous YSL mansion housing YSL kingpin Young Thug, alongside 28 members of YSL, were raided and arrested on a 56-count indictment in Fulton County. The 56-count grand jury indictment charges 28 members and associates of Young Slime Life, known as YSL. The indictment includes charges of conspiring to violate the racketeer, influence, and corrupt organizations, otherwise known as the RICO Act, as well as armed robbery and participation in criminal street activity. News TV captured this exclusive image and video of authorities taking Young Thug into custody earlier this evening. Now, as described on the day of their arrest, prosecutors say that YSL is a criminal street team that started in late 2012 in the Cleveland Avenue area of Atlanta. YSL claims affiliation with the National Red. YSL's founders were Jeffrey Williams, aka Young Thug, aka Slime, and then Walter Murphy, aka DK, and Trontavia Stevens, aka Tick. Young Thug was arrested and accused of renting a 2014 Infiniti Q50 sedan from Hertz, which was used in the commission of the passing of Donovan Thomas Jr., a rival street member, on January 10th in 2015. Now, after the reports and arrest occurred, this is where you thought things wouldn't get worse for Young Thug and Lil Baby, but this was announced at a court hearing just a few weeks ago.
He's the one directing traffic. He is the one they're all afraid of. He's the one that's King Slime. He is the most dangerous of the 28, Judge. And I implore you not to grant him a bond. He is dangerous. If he gets a burner, Judge, and the court may know this, a lot of the communications that Mr. Williams is on FaceTime, because it's not traceable, it's not trackable. Judge, I will also say that we have taken proffers from fellow from Mr. Williams. Some are on this indictment, some are not. They have stated uniformly that Mr. Williams is dangerous. They are afraid of him, that if they cross him, he will them and their family. And they were very clear about that.
Concerns that this court has is danger to persons and to intimidate other witnesses and obstruct the administration of justice. So and for those reasons in the aggregate, I'm going to deny bond at this time.
Now, prosecutors revealed a few members of the 28 arrested are now creating proffer deals with the feds. This means they're giving the feds more evidence and information on Young Thug, Lil Baby, and Gunna in exchange for a lesser prison sentence for themselves. Ever since the snitching in the YSL case has been happening, Gunna was arrested, and now Lil Baby is next on the Atlanta DA radar, making many believe that the members of YSL that are snitching also do work on the side inside of 4PF. The Atlanta DA and prosecutors laid out 3 reasons why Young Thug will never escape prison, with the first reason being how Young Thug runs his operation. Now, during the court hearing, it was revealed by YSL members that snitched that Young Thug is the head of the organization, as Young Thug is the leader and he calls a majority of the things that occur within YSL. A very common job that Young Thug would direct newer members of YSL to do is bring him hacked or stolen any iPhone they can get a hand on, as Young Thug would often purchase these used iPhones or just obtain them and use them as burner phones. He would then use these cell phones only having FaceTime on the phone, deleting all of the other apps other than a VPN. He would then use these phones to FaceTime his quote-unquote troops to handle business on the streets, whether it was narcotic related, going after rival street members, or other things. Now, when using FaceTime, it's impossible for law enforcement and cell phone providers to tap the phones and listen in on phone calls. Now, FaceTime is often used by street members as there's no trace of what is said in calls anywhere. A common thing that they use is on FaceTime, they will call each other, and if they shake their head up and down, that means the job's done. If it's not, they go side to side. Then they just hang up the call. Now, these same members also mention that Young Thug is very dangerous. If you cross him, he will get you and your family. Now, the next reason why prosecutors say Young Thug will never escape lockup is during the YSL mansion raid where Young Thug lives, there was GTA type firearms found within the household. Very similar to what I said earlier in the video, firearms were found that law enforcement don't even know how Young Thug and other YSL members would have even gotten them. Now, they used this to their advantage against Young Thug during the bond hearing, telling the judge, you cannot allow Young Thug, the leader of YSL, to be released into this household where these types of firearms are located. Now, with the last reason being, even with Young Thug behind bars, there is criminal acts still being done within YSL. An example of this is when the prosecution in the Young Thug RICO case announced they had proffers from members of YSL. Other street members of YSL that aren't arrested were caught trying to delete evidence from the case. As No Jumper reported, a YSL member was caught on an illegal cell phone trying to get someone on the outside to destroy evidence in the Young Thug RICO case. The county jail inmate using the illegal cell phone inside of jail actually came from the famous drone delivery, as earlier in the case it was reported this evidence in the courtroom. Garlington and Quantavius did unlawfully commit the felony offense of conspiracy to possess telecommunication devices by an inmate. While speaking over a cell phone to an incarcerated Fulton County jail inmate, they discussed a plan to fly a drone carrying a cell phone beyond the guard lines to a window at the Fulton County jail. Now, it's no secret that Young Thug was being jailed at Fulton County in the beginning, but to simplify what this evidence means, associates of YSL made a plan to fly cell phones over the jail fence at Fulton County. Now, obviously, law enforcement watched the drone with a cell phone taped to the side fly over the fence. Rather than stopping the drone and confiscating the cell phone, they actually allowed the cell phone to be delivered, as the phone was then used by inmates and law enforcement just tapped the phone. Super creative police work helped law enforcement gain a lot of information on YSL, which is why we're here today, where Young Thug is never going to be released or escape prison, and Lil Baby is now next on the RICO list. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and don't forget to subscribe. It's been District Trending, and I'm out. Peace.